Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of Investing for the Common Man, your one-stop shop for short, concise, informational videos to help you save both your time and your money. At the beginning of August, I laid out my top 5 stock picks for the month, and instead of making videos on a bunch of overbought, overhyped stocks, and then never acknowledging when those recommendations are a day late and several dollars short, here at Investing for the Common Man, we look back and evaluate the performance of our picks to see what went right and what went wrong, and most importantly, what we can learn from the experience to become better investors and better traders. For both investors and traders alike, the month of August was absolutely wild, with the S&P 500 gaining a staggering 7.01% in just 1 month, notching new all-time highs. The Dow Jones Industrial Average gained slightly more at 7.57%, and the tech-heavy Nasdaq Composite absolutely dominated with a mind-boggling gain of 9.58%. The Russell 2000 Small Cap Index lagged behind the pack with a still respectable gain of 5.5%. These are truly astonishing numbers. These are the types of gains that the indexes might see in a whole year of solid economic growth. Although, I do need to address the elephant in the room. Much of the gains in these major indices were fueled in part by the euphoria surrounding the stock splits of both Apple and Tesla, which are now both members of the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq. Don't get me wrong, I love these two companies, but stock splits don't create any new value. So these two companies are slightly skewing the market cap weighted indices as overall market indicators. But regardless, we're still going to go ahead and compare the performance of each of my August picks to these benchmarks to see how we did. Before we get started, please take 2 seconds to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more quality content. Alright, let's dive in. My first pick for August was Raytheon Technologies, ticker symbol RTX. I'm not going to rehash all of the analysis I did in my last video, but this is a fascinating, multifaceted industrial technology company. So if you aren't familiar with this new hybrid company, I'll leave a link to that analysis in the description below. Raytheon started out the month strong, rallying over 13% and paying out its healthy quarterly dividend of 48 cents per share before pulling back slightly to this level of support around the $60 level. If you bought the stock outright at the beginning of the month and include the dividend that you would have collected, the stock gained 8.48% for the month of August, outperforming the S&P 500. In my personal account, I chose to play this stock using the options market, and I want to show you how I took a simple bullish strategy and managed it throughout the month based on the price action of Raytheon stock. So on July 30th, I decided to buy 3 out-of-the-money call options with a strike price of $60, expiring on September 18th. So they had about 50 days left until expiration. These calls were relatively inexpensive since I chose contracts that were out of the money, meaning that they had zero intrinsic value. At $2.10 a piece, these 3 contracts represented a $332 investment, including transaction fees. So that's the maximum I could possibly lose on this trade. Just over a week into the trade, RTX started to rally, and my contracts had increased almost 50% in value. Of course, I was happy that the trade was going well, but there are no guarantees in life. RTX could have fallen back below $60 and my contracts could have expired worthless. So instead of closing the whole position and walking away with 50% gain, I sold 1 of the 3 contracts on August 7th to lock in some profits. Then I let the remaining 2 run. Just 3 days later, Raytheon started taking off. That's the day of this long green candle here. So I decided to sell 1 more contract at $5.25 for a 150% gain. This is so important. When you have a position like this and the stock starts to take off, it can be really tempting to hold on thinking that you found the next Tesla that's going to make you rich. But you never know what tomorrow will bring. With this method of taking profits, I made more money on the first 2 contracts than I could possibly lose on the 3rd contract, even if it expired worthless. So I let the 3rd contract ride for a few more weeks and the stock only rallied a little bit more before pulling back. So 18 days later, on August 28th, rather than waiting for Theta to eat away all of my options' extrinsic value in hopes of another rally, I decided to sell my final call when the stock had a slight bounce off this level of support for a profit at $3.10. All said and done, after commissions and fees, I invested $632 in call contracts and managed to sell them for a total of $1,142.96 for a total gain of $510.96. That's a staggering 80% return on my investment. Moving on, my second pick for the month was Viacom CBS, ticker symbol VIAC. On August 6th, Viacom CBS reported earnings and beat revenue expectations by almost 35%. The market seemed not to take too much notice with all the other press releases coming out about big tech companies, so the stock just continued to quietly grind higher through the end of the month with a total gain of 6.83%, just slightly underperforming the S&P. But sometimes it's nice to have a few stocks in your portfolio that just slowly make that grind higher without all the drama and volatility. In my personal portfolio, I sold a cash secured put on VIAC before earnings to take advantage of the IV crush. But with the stock continually grinding higher, I was able to collect my maximum gain on that trade and was not assigned shares. My third pick for August was Microsoft, ticker symbol MSFT. This stock saw a little extra love this month from investors over the possible acquisition of TikTok. But as of prepping this video, we still do not have confirmation of which company will acquire the social media sensation. Regardless, the company still rallied handsomely and paid out its quarterly dividend of 51 cents per share. If we include the dividend, the stock gained 10.25% in August, soundly outperforming all of the major indices. I decided to play the stock selling an out-of-the-money put credit spread. If you are unfamiliar with this options play, Bassam and I recently collaborated on a great video breaking down this strategy and showed the different setups that we look for. I'll leave a link to it in the description below. You should definitely check it out. I don't want to waste time explaining the trade here, but I'll throw the transaction data up on the screen to show you that the options play was a success, making $161.31 in profit after commissions and fees, over a maximum risk of $800, for just over a 20% return on investment. My fourth pick of the month was Alibaba, ticker symbol BABA. This stock has been trading range-bound for a few months, but after a very positive earnings report on August 20th, the stock began an aggressive rally, ending the month with an impressive gain of 14.35%, outperforming all four of the major US indices and taking first place among my August stock picks. This is a stock that I've been aggressively bullish on for a while, and we don't have enough time to go through all the option trades that I made, but all of them broke even or turned a handsome profit. I used several put credit spreads, an iron condor, and a call debit spread. I haven't covered those last two strategies on the channel, but I will be uploading videos explaining them soon, so make sure that you are subscribed so you don't miss those. Last but certainly not least, my fifth pick was home favorite streaming service Netflix, ticker symbol NFLX. This stock started off the month strong before pulling back abruptly to this level of support around 465. This pullback even endangered one of the put credit spreads that I sold on the stock. Fortunately, the stock found support and made a strong bounce back above 500 into the end of the month. This rebound allowed the stock to notch a solid monthly gain of 8.32% and allowed me to collect my maximum gain on both of the put credit spread positions that I sold on the stock. And that doesn't even include the second monster rally that we just saw on September 1st. If we average the gains of all these picks together like a mini equal weighted ETF, the average return of our 5 stock picks for the month of August was 9.64%, outperforming all 4 of the major indices, including the high-flying NASDAQ. My portfolio is looking better than ever after trading these names, and I hope that you are also benefiting from this crazy bull market. If you haven't already, why don't you go ahead and smash that like button for beating the market. For more great stock picks like these, you can check out my September watchlist video that I just posted a few days ago. And don't forget to subscribe so that you can see if we can manage to beat the market again with some careful analysis and critical thinking. Until next time, keep calm, stay healthy, and happy trading.